I'm live. Am I live? I don't even know. Wait. Oh, there we are. Hola! It is Friday night and I'm doing a Friday night live. What has my life become is the question. Yeah, Goddess Jamaji is in the house on a Friday, taking a break in between, well, many things actually today, studying and manifesting, but also getting ready to just exit the space for a couple of days while quite a very, very legendary man and his family and his extended family will be celebrating his 70th here at the Braemar Club on Parliament Street, which, if you've caught me before, it is a heritage home, and boy, there is some divine energy in this space. So there's some wonderful plans around this place, and I'm just going to keep putting it out there because this is a goddess mission. It's a divine mission where, we intend to spread the word and in terms of allowing people to heal, to restore, to become empowered, to become knowledgeable, to be able to experience and transition into that next level life and more, of course. So that's only going to do great things in the community. So, that's what's going on here. So meanwhile, this gentleman is and his family are coming in here, and he's celebrating his 70th. Now let me just bring something up so I can tell you exactly who he is. He was an activist. His name is, and I have no clue, I so apologize on how to say it, Will Elohia, and he is Tongan, and he was one of the founding members of the Polynesian Panther movement, which was founded in 1971, and they were about raising consciousness and ensuring well-being in the Polynesian and the Pacifica communities. So it was all during the time of apartheids and all that type of thing. And word on the street has it that he was facing 10 years imprisonment for his work. And goodness me, he's falling apart. I think I'm having some little gremlins in here at the moment. And yes, him and all the other founding members of this Panthers movement were in court and facing 10 years imprisonment. And of course, they never saw the inside of any prison because what they were doing was they were freedom fighting. And I do believe it's was it Desmond Tutu that came and spoke, and that was something that really helped their case. So anyhow, he was also the manager for The Herbs, if anyone remembers the band The Herbs here in New Zealand. So pretty cool. They are filming this event this whole weekend, and it'll be aired in Tonga. So because there's huge connections in through the royal family through this gentleman. I believe he grew up in this area, and in fact this home was standing, and he lived just around the corner right next to the Northern Club, and his father was the butler to the Governor General, and all sorts of incredible stories. So that's what's going on here this weekend. So what I wanted to share about, because as I say, I'm talking about my teachings and my learnings and how we can integrate this into our lives as far as integrative medicine goes, and I will share as much as I can along the way that I feel is interesting. And on my list of talkings I wanted to do was go through a little bit of manifesting tips and how that really as I've said before, we are living in a simulated reality, and that you are only ever experiencing the outer world, your inner world's response to the external world. So it's a world of reflections, and everybody you meet is here contracted to teach you some part of your experience here on this earth. So what keeps people in a space where they feel they're stuck and that they feel they can't move on? Well, a lot of the times that is us feeling not good enough, that we don't deserve it, and trapped in negative belief patterns that are often those that we've inherited, and then also the subconscious programming from the seed patterns that we really lay down in terms of programming. Because remember, we are just really a software program. Humans are programmable. Just take a look at what's going on at the moment. Very, very few are left that are critically thinking these days. So how do we get people to critically think, and how do we get people to, let's say, wake up out of a slumber? Well, first of all, you've got to realize you're in a slumber first. And I know personally, I spent probably a good 25 years of my life slaving to the system and trapped in the matrix, shall we say, doing the things that, to the outer world was what was deemed success. And goodness me, there's a lot of things, that I have done in my life, yet didn't really hold a whole heap of meaning. So once I came out of that slumber, which of course is driven mostly through fear. When you are trapped in a state of fear or fight, flight, fright, maybe it's not fear, maybe that doesn't resonate with you, but in your system is stuck in a fight, flight, fright mode, basically you can't see what's around you because you're programmed to survive. So, you go from, one safe spot to another, shall we say, and, barely slow down to see what else is happening in the world. And this is sort of how they like it, because they can control us that way and keep you in that 9 to 5, keep you, down in terms of what you're able to achieve in this life. So as I've shifted out of that state of fight and flight and fright, and then being able to really learn about my own energy field a lot more and dig deeper with that, and able to reconnect, or let's say remember. That is our soul, one of our soul's purposes, to remember who it is that we are. And you are far greater than this physical body. Like, this is the 3D world. When we talk 3D, there's a lot of this 3D, 5D, 12D, whatever. And really in the three-dimensional realm, it's what we can see and touch and what we perceive as being real. However, it's only a crystallized form of consciousness. So I really do encourage, because encourage you to continue, following along the teachings, because it will change the way that you view the world. So change your perception, you change the frequency you're actually putting out. Therefore, you're going to change your personal reality as well. So to overcome and step out of this fight, flight, fright space, you are then able to tap into becoming the observer and being able to see when you are manifesting and creating magic in your own life. So a lot of the times we've kind of been taught to think that if we work hard, that's why we have the life that we have, shall we say. And yes, to an extent that is true. There's still action that needs to be taken. However, 96% of the realm that you live in is invisible. And that is all invisible waves of frequencies and energy and information contained along those vibrations. So hacking into that system is how you break out of the matrix, because it's in that you can create infinite possibilities. I mean, you yourself, the fact that you are existing, you are an example of one of the infinite possibilities in this massive consciousness that we live in. So getting us out of the 9 to 5 or the mediocre or the ordinary life, shall we say, where you go to university, you meet your partner, you get married, you buy your house, you have your kids, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. However, getting to a place where we're able to create a life that we dream of, that is possible. You don't let anybody or anything or any circumstance tell you any different. You are able to create whatever your heart desires. And there's a key right there. When we manifest, it's through your heart space. So that's that big energetic field. It's where our biofield powerhouse really, really is. And it's about creating an awareness through that. So there's a lot of tips and tricks that we can pick up along the way. But I'm telling you, the more you start to realize that you hold the power in your manifestations, you start seeing them coming back in, and you're like, oh, that's out of the ordinary. Then keep doing what you're doing, because anything is possible. And I'll tell you what, that's, for me, having come out of a huge amount of trauma, and to be able to kind of come out of that and start to see that it's more, what's the mission that you're on, that's a mission bigger than just you. And what I really mean by that is that we a lot of the time, so many of us are spending so much of our life trying to survive, right? Trying to survive, trying to just make sure we've got enough money to pay our bills, to buy a house, whatever it is, to look after your family, whatever it is that you need to do to survive, right? And so our mission becomes us and anybody close to us. So what about, have you given it some thought, as, because I've lived in that life, I've lived in that way, I've lived in the looking after myself, trying to get ahead, try to do the things that society say are, commendable, what have you, trying to even go a bit further and trying to provide vocations for other people, other human beings. Yeah, that didn't seem to be quite enough. That's, I crashed and burned because I became a slave to that program. And now, coming out of that and recovering from that, what I'm able to see is that, what is my mission that's bigger than me? What's my mission in terms of, why have I come to this planet? Why am I here? And what's my purpose? So if you're not sure what that is, or you don't know how to answer that, then just give it some thought. Because I truly believe that when, the highest sense of joy, I suppose, I don't know how you put it, how you word it, is when we're service to others. And there is an abundance. There's an abundance. Don't let anybody tell you there's not an abundance of absolutely everything in this world, because there is an abundance that exists. It's the universe. It's infinitely abundant. So scratch out that belief in that, this life's not for you, or life is not for you, because there's enough for everybody in this realm. And so as we step into that, and that's our state of being, then, because it's the realm of reflections and mirrors, guess what? Someone else is going to show up in that space that is exactly like that, because we are only reflections of each other. So I'm excited about that. I do believe that I haven't cracked the code yet, I'm damn close to it. So stick with me and watch this space is all I can say. So at the moment, as I've talked about my project and I'm speaking about it more and more, if you're open to jumping on board and getting your goddess on and creating a life of abundance for yourself and for anybody and everybody, starting with healing and restoring your system, therefore then you're able to raise your frequencies. Because don't forget, our perceptions, our thoughts, our feelings have a way of being able to bring our vibration down. And given that this high vibe life of joy and abundance and anything that you want and your heart's desires, and you don't have to worry about health and you don't have to worry about money or any of that type of thing, that's a high vibration. So raise your vibe and keep raising it. Find lots of ways to raise it. So if you are tasked with a task that seems a bit overwhelming and impossible, or you're feeling a little stuck and you're not sure what your purpose is, look, it's sometimes just changing that mindset. So a couple of questions. Instead of, you don't actually have to know how something is going to come about. Find the desire, find the sensation and the feeling that it's already happened, because in this realm, in the quantum realm, past, present, and future have already happened. So there's that outcome already exists. You just have to find your way to that outcome. So the how of it all, you don't have to worry. Like Cass, I keep, for myself, even keeping into that mentality. It's a bit, and the more you do it, the better it gets. It's like going to the gym, or it's like playing the piano. So I've got my piano moved into this beautiful heritage home now, and I did classical piano when I was younger, but it's been a very long time since I've played. So I've found it frustrating and disheartening and disempowering in lots of ways, because I can't play like I used to. But you do it a little bit every day, and that motor program, that neuroplasticity, those pathways open up again. And so today I have to say I felt so much better about it. So manifestation is the same way. You might start off and think, I'm shit at this, I can't do it. But trust me, it gets easier. And the more you recognize that what you're doing is working, the more it works. So it's quantum realm, it can't not. All right, so think about what you can focus on. Hold the vision, hold the outcome, hold the feeling of that outcome has already happened for as long as possible, as opposed to thinking about all the ways, you're getting the brain in the way. The ego goes, no, not going to happen. No, not possible. Oh, no. But last time you tried that, you failed, remember? All of that chitter chatter that gets going in your head, ignore it. Get it out of the way, and keep acknowledge it with curiosity is usually what I say to people. But if you can continue to focus on that outcome and hold the feeling of that outcome's already happened, I'm telling you, the universe is going to start conspiring for you and putting everything in the way. You just have to have your eyes open and your heart open, and then step into those opportunities as they arise. And you'll know if they're leading you in the right direction, because they either will or they won't. It's quite simple. Why do we overthink this stuff? So just as I've experienced with my piano playing this week, I felt at times, it's like, what, screw it. I'm just going to get rid of the piano. It's too hard. It's been too long. And I thought about just giving up on that. I mean, just that fast. So, but if I don't quit, my dream is to be able to play contemporary, and to be able to play and sing as well, because I do love doing that. But confident in it, so that I can play and sing to people. So if I don't quit, I'm probably going to get there. So keep thinking of that. What if you don't quit? I mean, if you do quit, you know the answer to that, right? You know the answer to that outcome already. So hang in there with whatever you're doing. A big one for me at the moment is, again, who do I need to become and evolve in that desired outcome? Who am I? What do I do? What do I look like? What are my mannerisms? What's my characteristic? Who am I hanging out with? Like all of that type of thing. That get clarity on and understand that if you have an outcome or a life that is completely different to what you've got now, you can't keep being the same. You need to learn to overcome and do the shadow work, is what we call it. So the things that you just don't like about yourself, and how do you know? Because you'll see it in someone else and it'll trigger the hell out of you. And so, because it's a reflective realm, right? So everybody is in it to teach us, to help us ascend, to help us get out of 3D world and get us into 5D land, which is where the magic is. And when you get up into 12D, man, that's just plasma. That's amazing. When I went there in an astral travel. It was awesome. Great experience of what we really are. So, and along with, in order to this desired outcome, again, who do we need to hang out with? It's all of these simple things. So, everything we do provides us an opportunity, right? And also an opportunity to look back and how would we do things different. So everything is an experience. It's been a hard thing for me, especially the last few years, and having such a, oh man, I had some dark years, some real dark years. And it's cutting the cords to those as well, and to allow yourself, to grant yourself forgiveness for the things you just didn't know at the time, and that it was all an experience, and that is all that we are here for. So, yeah, what else did I want to say on this little thing here? Because I just read off notes that I make when I'm learning things along the way. So, I guess it's also getting clear on, what is it that matters to us? And at this point, personally, I don't want anybody to suffer, and I want people to be able to really reach their full potential and not be jaded or jarred or fragmented from the labels that society's placed us on. And I have a list of them, about this many, with as far as the ones that have been stuck on me along the years, and I'm sure you can resonate with that as well. So again, remember, everything's perception, and how we view ourselves is what matters. So keep looking at all the interactions that you're having throughout your day, and start to recognize what's reactive, what's coming from subconscious programming, and how can we overcome, I guess, habitual patterns, right? So anyway, manifesting, get on it. It's it's a hell of a lot of fun once you get the hang of it, and you're like, I see ya, universe, I raise ya, in fact. Yeah. So, yeah, beliefs programming, blocked. Here's one. Why are some people blocked? Well, that's an easy question, an easy answer. So, either through patterning and seed patterns and childhood traumas, trust me, always going to go back to that. Always is, because as the beings that we are, and we encode every single experience that we have, and from that, the body, because we're geared to survival, the body says, you know what, we're not going to even risk that, because last time that happened, it was horrendous. So already places limits on the experiences that we have. So yeah, so what keeps people stuck? But the other big thing is is simple things that, you know, we're even unaware of what's going on. The water that you're drinking is poisoned. Yeah, they say that it has safe levels of chlorine and fluoride, and we've been sold, you know, that that's because it's in the water, because it kills the bacteria and the blah blah blah, and the fluoride's great for your teeth, and etc etc. But my friends, it's poisoning you. And from a cellular level, if you look at changing the balance of chloride in the body, well, it's an electrolyte. And so, you know, sodium chloride sits on the cell membrane and the potassium inside. And so there's an exchange. You know, when I say these things, I always think, have I got that right? Pretty sure. But there's an exchange through the ions, and that's what sends and transfers information in and out of the, you know, cells and to other cells and through this nervous system. So tip the balance on that chloride ion, then, you know, you're actually changing at a cellular level the actually electrical conduction at a cell level as well. Just had this bingo moment today on that. I was like, dang. So that and the poison in the food, okay, so the GMOs as well. I mean, hey, sugar's one of the biggest poisons that we have. The metabolic process to break that down creates so much acidity in the system, and I keep saying, what happens when your system becomes acidified? Is that even a word? Acidic. You corrode, right? So sugar, alcohol, don't get me wrong, as you know, you probably see me most of the time with a drink in my hand. So I'm not impartial to having a drink. However, I'm going to say for the first time in my life, other than when I was pregnant and breastfeeding, and probably when I was a world athlete, I don't think I drank alcohol during that time. I wouldn't have been able to. It was insane training. So there's only really been, you know, small periods of my life, but I'd say the majority of my life I have drank alcohol, like pretty much every day. So it's been 2 weeks now that I have not had an alcoholic drink, and I got to say, feel fucking fantastic. Really loving it. Don't miss it at all. So give it a go if you haven't before. Not that I'm going to become a big preacher in that aspect, because I'm sure there's going to be an occasion coming up soon that I would enjoy a nice bubbles. But anyway, on to chakras before I got some friends coming over. So I better get myself organized. So chakras quickly. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown on the chakra system. I do believe that, hang on a minute, just looking. Hey, Bobby. Yes, absolutely. Alkaline water. And, well, I'm going to follow on that part. I'll follow on this video probably in the next week or so and talk more about water as I go, because 100%, yes, we can change the acidity and the alkalinity in the water for sure. So, I mean, this is through frequencies. Is what we do is we, you know, reduce the body of pain and inflammation, and in doing so, you're actually making the system less acidic and more alkaline. So you're changing the state. And so through frequencies, I love that, that we, how do I say, oxidative stress is the imbalance between the buildup of free radicals production in the system and the antioxidants that you produce. Yes, you get them through food as well, but your body produces a shit ton of them. Melatonin, glutathione, carnosine, nitric oxide, I mean, it goes on and on and on, right? Things that have been called hormones and vitamins and things like that, I mean, they're all forms really, of and have antioxidant properties as well. So cannabinoids in the system as well, one of the most powerful antioxidants that our body has. So when we can reduce the oxidative stress, then you're actually going to reduce the acidity in the system, or improve the alkalinity. So yeah, water. And we're mostly water. Come on. And then, of course, we know what happens when you change the vibration of the water that you actually put in the system as well. Done studies on it, right? Yeah, high vibe it. And if I finish up with one more thing on water, we need to replace a certain amount of the lymphatic fluid every single night. It's like putting your dishwasher on. The immune system kicks up at nighttime. You replace around 3 liters of lymphatic fluid. So what are you replacing it with? Are you replacing it with shitty water, dirty water? Well, given that it is like washing all of the cells and the organs and the tissue in the body, when you are, putting your immune system on at nighttime, you're also flushing the cerebral spinal fluid, which, through the Kundalini is, God, I love this stuff. Through the Kundalini work, the cerebral spinal fluid kind of gets squeezed up the spinal cord and places pressure directly on the pineal gland. And this is where you get this transmutation of melatonin into these higher forms, and with the photoluminescent properties. And you go, ding, connect with, higher self, much easier. So you need clean water, lots of it as well, and not just clean, alkaline. So so from chakras and vital body functions, I'm not sure if I can see because the light's good there, but it's not great where I'm reading. But chakras all have Dixie Man. Chakras. As I said before, it's the rainbow body, right? They are the power wheels, the energetic wheels that run up along the spinal, or the central line of us as the light beings that we are. And from that, the meridians come off. So you're a light body, you are a rainbow body. And within those centers, they are responsible for vital body functions of organs and glands, but they also have a connection with our feelings, and when they're out of balance, whether they're excessive or whether they're deficient, and if they've become empty, God forbid, this is when you see physical dis-ease manifest. So keep coming back to what I said at the beginning. Your physical body is a crystallized form of consciousness. So it is nothing but energy and biophotons and light, all right? So if you get a kink or an imbalance through these chakras, you will see it manifesting. And behaviors and signs and symptoms, they're all alarm bells to tell you that something's not quite right. So listen. Because it's much easier to restore balance when it's slightly out of balance. It's much harder, but not impossible, when things have been gone awry for a long time. So let's have a look at chakra and vital body function, organs and glands. So if I start around the root chakra, which is, at the base of the pelvis, basically, and it's in through that pelvic bowl. You have you have all your elimination organs. Just think what sits in that lower area physiologically. And so you've got your large intestine, you've got your kidneys, your bladders. It's linked with the adrenals as well. Now, not that the kidneys and the adrenals sit in that they're not local to that area, but they are linked to that. So if we then go on for the root chakra and the dominant feelings within the root chakra, it's all about self and our beliefs, but it's very survival orientated as well. So when it's it's linked with fear also. So when it's out of balance, that energy is out of balance, then, you know, you may be finding that the things that you're coming up against are creating a lot of resistance for you, shall we say. So dominant feelings are, if it's in balance, you're going to feel very balanced or grounded. If it's out of balance, then there will be a bit of flight. You know, when people think, we describe people as being flighty, we do it with horses, that's for sure. And of course, they have the chakras as well, and the biofield and all of that jazz. So, yeah, that's just a little quick look at that. So we want to... it's our chakra of transformation also. So really look at, how would you know if that's imbalanced or not? Well, first of all, can you even have an awareness of the energy in that area? If you're sitting on your ass, it's kind of easy to figure out in a way. So, but from a sensing level, are you able to have an awareness of that for a start? So, oh, I just saw your notes there, Bobby. yeah, we're not going to go there. Okay, who's beeping me? So the next one that I'll touch briefly on, and I will do it a little bit more in depth as we go along, is the sacral chakra, or, I've got issue notes, or sometimes known as the sixth chakra. I believe this is a huge energetic field that a lot of people are not utilizing the best way possible. It's our life force. It's our center of creativity. It's not, I'm not going to say obsessed, it's definitely the wrong word. I am most interested in tantric sex and understanding how you can utilize that energy force to be able to then manifest. You have no idea how powerful that energy is. And that's a whole nother conversation of how you can maximize the benefits of tantric sex and the energy in the sacral chakra. So, of course, from a physiological perspective, you have your, well, females, well, it's all of your reproductive organs there, males as well. But the females, of course, you've got your uterus, your ovaries, and so that's our, again, our creative center, right? Dominant feelings, of course, if it's in balance, then, you know, you are going to feel love. You're going to feel the sexual beings that we are. And when it's out of balance, then there's often this sense of feeling unfulfilled, and probably the feelings of more lusting rather than, which never ends well, rather than a love sense of feeling. So those are the dominant feelings there. And really, again, like I was saying, we're just not tapping into the power that the sacral chakra holds. So going up and along, I will elaborate another day further. Brief look at your solar plexus, and of course the stomach, the spleen, the liver are all, think about anything that sits, and this is your gut brain, and a lot of people go, oh yeah, it's your second brain. No, it's your first brain. Well, and you could probably go even further and say it is your second brain. Based on that, the heart field is your first brain. And it's got 40,000 neurons around the heart, very specific neurons. So the heart has its own brain in itself as well. So heart space, I'd say, is our first brain. Gut brain is our second, and our actual organ brain would be the third. But from a neurological perspective, this gut brain develops first. So, yeah, perception. Ask me tomorrow, I might have a different view. And of course, this is often where people are getting these sensations of anxiety, right? And anxiety, how many people experience anxiety? It's so common. And they scratch their head and they're like, I don't know what to do. And the medical world is, just medicates people and suppresses things, which just eats away. It's not helping anything at all. So anxiety to me, and I've spoke about this before, really is your alarm system. Your biofield has processed information way faster than your brain can interpret. So listen, when you're getting that feeling that we link with anxiety, acknowledge what's happening around you, because your biofield's telling you something. All right. And also remember that our biofields can interact with other people. They don't even have to be near us. We are all connected through this electromagnetic web that's invisible, that we can't see. The matrix, hack into it. So more on the solar plexus as well. So when it is out of balance, then one of the dominant feelings is unworthiness. So what can you do about that? Well, breath is life. So people say, well, change your breathing patterns. All very well. But what if you have an inflamed intestinal tract? To be able to diaphragmatically breathe, or to breathe down into the root chakras, is almost going to be, it's going to be difficult, put it that way, because the diaphragm needs to descend quite a ways for that. So sometimes that advice is great advice, but it doesn't always work for people. So I always say go inwards and sense, and then try to move energy through the body by bringing attention to other energetic centers. Let's go a little higher. We talked about the heart chakra a little bit, and of course that's our most powerful center. It's our epicenter of our electromagnetic field. 1 second. All right, cool. I was thinking someone might be here, but they're not. They're on their way. Yes, fabulous. And when it's in balance, you're going to feel love. You'll see the world full through the lens of love. And when our intention and everything that we do comes from a place of love, it can't go wrong. It just can't. It's the energetic world. When it's out of balance, your heart center, then you may be a little more tending towards jealousy and absence of love. Is all things not good, really. So of course, another part physiologically within that energetic space is the thymus. So the thymus actually shrinks as we get older. It's where all the T cells mature, right? So our immune cells. And it shrinks as we get a little bit older, as we age, and gets replaced with fat cells, shall we say. So we in the frequency world like to keep our thymus vibration on optimal. So there is a specific neurological frequency for your thymus, and it's worth having that resonating optimally. All right, we got a couple to go. Throat chakra. So anything in through this area. Now, of course, your thyroid is sitting there. So how many people who have had thyroid issues, and why would the throat chakra go out of balance? Well, that energetic field is often closed down as we go through life, especially through childhood. Sometimes people speak of having difficulties being able to communicate their needs, or to maybe they didn't feel they were able to talk about something or really share how they felt. So it's when that becomes dysfunctional and we end up manifesting physically pathology, then look at this energetic field and start to restore what these fields are linked with. So from vital body function, organ and glands perspective, the throat chakra is about our lungs, and the thyroid and anything through the throat, basically. Exaltation is when it's in balance, and the other dominant feeling when it's out of balance is frustration. So nothing is worth getting sick over. And it was those words, wise words from my wing woman in Sydney, a beautiful Irish goddess, and she said that to me years ago when I was probably maybe at my darkest points, I think. So anyway, they always resonate with me. So moving on up, so then you have, of course, the third eye, and this is the pineal gland. So when I was talking about water earlier, and we've been sold this story that we need fluoride in the water because it's great for, you know, teeth health and da-da-da-da, whatever. Yeah, but if they told you what it does to all the glands in the body, and the pineal gland is really the epicenter, and you've got to ask yourself, why is it buried so deep in your brain and then enclosed with a, you know, a cement-like skull? Because it needs protecting, it's precious. And it's how you access consciousness. It's how you're able to then have those access those psychic abilities. We, each and every single one of us, have psychic abilities. However, they have been closed down through a lot of variety of ways, and one of them is the fluoridation in the water. So I suggest if you have a lot of fluoride in your water, then you need to get a filter and get that shit out. Life will change, I can tell you. So it's our intuitive energy. The midbrain sits there, the hindbrain, the eyes, the pituitary gland. Now the pituitary gland orchestrates all hormones and glands in your body. So it's high up in the priority line, in the maintenance or the homeostasis of our body, shall we say. Pituitary gland, pineal gland, hypothalamus. I mean, that's your main control room, man. And it all sits in this, you know, third eye chakra, or the brow chakra, as it may be known as some. So when the dominant feelings there are clarity, gosh, how many people are walking around with brain fog out there? Toxic load is what that is. You're unable to see the forest for the trees, been there, and unable to make clear decisions. Everything's too overwhelming. Life is different when you have clarity, and this is the one big thing I've seen shift in all the patients that I've worked with frequency therapy. Is one of the first things that they comment on is how much more clarity that they have. So amen to that, right? So clarity and understanding is when it's imbalance and confused and brain fog, memory loss, unable to connect with purpose. Yeah, it's a lot out there that, and I was one of them for a long time. I had no clue what my purpose in this world was. In fact, I didn't even feel worthy enough to have a purpose at one point. So you are as worthy as anybody else on this planet, and keep coming back to that. Keep telling yourself that, because it's true. Okay, yeah, so clarity and confusion. And the last chakra that I will talk about before I jump off and let you go back to whatever you're doing, and I'll do something a little more, what am I going to say? PhD. Well, this is all to do with the PhD anyway, but something a bit more on that next time. But the crown chakra, so that is actually outside of the body, And it's really our self-knowing. It's the neocortex. It's also including the pineal aspect as well. And it's really that doorway to connecting with higher self. And when that's open, it's through the chakra pillar that you're able to then access in the astral planes, and to be able to discover the Akashic records, to be able to figure out what is this purpose of a connection with this person or with that person, to find out your past lives. So great. It's so great when you're able to do that, because you're able to gain more meaning and understanding through the connections that you have as well. So all of this I just want to share, because as crazy as it may sound, it's a huge contrast to living in the system, for sure. It's quite exciting. Outside the firewall is what I call it. Get outside the firewall and see what happens. All right, so dominant feelings when your crown chakra is in balance, you'll feel satisfied. One of the big things that I've seen a shift in myself personally is to, and it's been a daily mantra, is to be able to maintain and stay in my lane, my vibratory lane, as an energetic being, no matter what's happening in my life, and to release the how is something going to come about into the cosmos, and then action upon the door knocks, that the things that come my way. And as I said, if the door opens, you walk through. If it is resistance, you're like, all right, let me take another look at this. Because how you are vibrating is going to be answered by the universe through your reality changing. So, yeah, satisfaction. So, and when it's out of balance, your crown chakra, you will feel despair. And I mean, that's a no-brainer. If you can't connect with your Wi-Fi to your avatar, how on earth do you know where you're going? It's just it's as easy as that. We need to remember who we are, as who our souls are. You're all gods, you're all goddesses. Connect with this beautiful rainbow energetic being that is you, and watch your world. Like, honestly, it just will open up the heart space, open up the crown chakra, open up the pineal, get your chakras in line, and this despair, this frustration, unworthiness, not feeling grounded, unsure of your purpose, all of that will literally align, because it can't not. It just can't. Yes, and then, sorry, that's all that I did connect all of the rest of what I wanted to talk about with the crown chakra. So hopefully that's given you some tips and perked your interest a little bit. Again, if you're in Auckland, next Thursday evening, we are hosting an introductory to frequency medicine. So it's a conscious chatter. It was an open forum where I'm able to share my knowledge in frequency therapy and how I've seen it change my life, also how it's worked in other people. It's a modality. As with anything, we need to then go and do the other work that we need to, that self-inner work, to continue to raise our own vibration, but it does certainly allow people to connect with self. So from a physical health perspective, frequency medicine, I'm going to talk about how it can help, but I'm also going to share about how it helps with a metaphysical aspect also. So that's next Thursday evening. There is a link up on my page. Also, that next weekend, not this weekend because we're already here, hallelujah, but next weekend, my students, my wonderful colleagues who are also my students, will basically have a 3-day practical exam, and we are inviting you and gifting you for a complimentary frequency session experience in exchange for being a guinea pig for them. So hit me up. There's also a link for that. There's a booking link, and if you're interested or know somebody who may just benefit from stepping into an alternative perspective of healing. And all of those goddesses out there and gods as well who are interested in what this space is transforming into, and if you've had a vision of a center that you can be a part of, get your goddess on is what we're saying around here, and get in the action. Please. I can tell you for sure it's going to be epic on every level. So hit me up with that as well. And I think I've managed to talk for almost an hour. Fancy that. All right, go and enjoy your Friday night or wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you again soon.